That's how we like it, disgusting. Fuck yeah. Hammer strength shoulder press. For this, I've been doing like a rest pause approach where essentially I do like 3 attempts with the same weight, just to focus on driving more volume within that actual given 3 attempts instead of waiting and doing like 3 working sets. I just find it's very time consuming, especially in the gym when you want to be intense. Calories are very low. I've also got post-workout cardio, doing double days now with cardio. Much fun. Really, again, you know, if you're going to train really, really hard with a very high intensity, you can't take too long with the training. You can't fuck around. So that's why right now, get the work done, get out, go home, recover. Got a third warm up and then straight into the working set. Feeling pretty warm after that top set over there. When it comes to doing another variation of vertical pressing movement, I'll probably maybe do like 3 to 4 warm ups. I'll go off how I feel though. If it's towards the beginning of the duration of the session, I'll just try to do a bit more warm ups just to really feel the load, get my nervous system firing, you know. I think that's why it's so important as well to focus on ensuring your warm ups are pristine before you go. And a lot of the time though, if you're gonna be doing like high reps and shit before you do your top set, you're gonna sort of fatigue yourself. I wanna really try to maximize 1, my warm-ups, but 2, maximize enough fuel efficiency for the top set. Because that's where, again, the progress is gonna be made and all the muscle retention is gonna occur throughout that dieting phase. See, it's nothing crazy, but again, trying to maintain as much muscle tissue as we can on a prep is so important. Usually, look, I'm barely progressing on a week-to-week basis now, but you know, the fact that I'm dropping weight plus I'm getting stronger each week is a good sign, but you got to make sure that you're on top of it and just to ensure that, you know, you're not going to be overloading too much on a week-to-week basis. Otherwise, again, your risk of injury goes up too high. It's also too, electrolytes are so important when it gets a bit hot. Like the other day, I had a bit of a twinge in my adductor just because of 2, I didn't hydrate enough, I didn't have enough electrolytes in my system too. So it's really important, the lower your food is as well, making sure that your electrolytes intake is still up to par. So that's one thing as well I like to really focus on. All right, get shit. It's very, very, very short and intense, but that's why I like it. I don't last too long in the gym. So this one I got 19.5 reps. So next week I'll try and get 20, but next week I'm like under 3 weeks out. So after this I've got another shoulder session and another one, and then it's peak week. So I'm not really too like fussed on trying to chase more reps and load, more just trying to make sure. Fuck, I need carbs. Can't even explain anything properly. It's just to keep the stimulus on the muscle for muscle retention purposes, especially in the diet phase. If your training's gonna falter and you're gonna start lifting lighter because you're on prep, don't do that. When it comes to training on an off-season or prep, my training's the exact same. It does not change. I'm on the exact same training phase and plan. Some movements are just slightly moved around to obviously fit, you know, the essence of more machine work, less stability, hard to focus on, and also a lower fatigue to stimulus ratio, just to ensure my recovery is good. Now the big boys. So for this one, a lot of people actually go way too heavy, and it's about ensuring you actually use the medial delt to abduct from the body. So like a lot of people like shrug it in front with their elbows. So a lot of the time when that happens, you're just lifting too much weight. So for this one, it's almost like training back. It's like you need the perfect amount of stimulation, but not too much load. A friend of mine who has insanely crazy shoulders showed me that it's all about making sure you can try to retract your back and still abduct effectively. Because a lot of the time you'll see people here, they just fucking swing the weight and you're not really gonna develop your deltoids by that. So if you want like those really round shoulders, whether you're a natty or you're on the sauce, a lot of time, again, creating that V tape is so important. Coming down, because I never had a small waist until obviously I dieted, but I didn't have wide shoulders. So it made my waist look bigger. So if I'm coming from the front and I have like, you know, not really wide shoulders, my waist is gonna look bigger. But if I'm at this position here, my shoulder's really wide and my waist is like gonna look smaller. So when you're doing those mandatories, it's so important to have that big V taper. So yeah, we'll do those for our top set. We got 20 reps over 3 attempts. So it's more about keeping the control as much as possible. Because when people do this, it's like, oh, more reps, more muscle. Yes, from the literature it shows that, but without controlling the actual load predominantly, you're also going to reduce that time under tension too. And through that, you're not going to build as much muscle. So, you know, and also too, a lot of people don't control those negatives on the way down. That's half a rep you're wasting as well. You don't need to do a fucking 10-second negative. If you're actually controlling the load, it's been shown again that also increases the time under tension, thus increases intensity. So you'll find that you'll build more muscle by doing that. So yeah, piece of advice. Top set, let's get it. Another rest pause, just like the press, but it's maximizing reps within the 3 attempts. I'll probably go over 20 for these, which I'm fine with. Don't really do that much, but when I do, it's because it's a low fatigue stimulus ratio. It's not like doing a barbell squat and going to failure where you're gonna be fucked for ages. That's the most important factor, is knowing where to push, where to pull back. When it comes to playing the size or the condition game, play the condition game, because they always look for that first. And I don't think anyone can play the size game. Like even Big Ramy, who plays the size game, he still comes in shredded as fuck. Focus on your own strengths and try to hide your weaknesses. Then build up those weaknesses in the off season. You know, if you've built up a new weak point into a strong point, that's also gonna be primarily where a lot of the time with seeing prep bodybuilders, that's where a lot of the tissue is gonna be used for fuel, and it actually gets flat really quick. So when, like for example, some coaches do high days where they'll focus on more on someone's chest if they've got a weak chest, so they're gonna get them to train chests on a high day, or even like quads, they're gonna really not be smashing the Stairmaster. I think that's very important to look at when it comes to ensuring that you're gonna try and maintain as much muscle as you can, especially in those areas where you just built it up. You know, you don't wanna sacrifice all that hard-earned muscle, but even then, it's really easy to put it back on. Muscle memory is a very effective thing, especially when it comes to an off season or a health phase. A lot of people get that sort of mentality skewed with, oh, you know, I'm getting flat, I'm getting smaller. You're not, you just have no muscle glycogen. Like at the end of the day, you have to get flat if you want to get peeled. When it comes to also competitive bodybuilding, you have to get lean and you have to, you know, get the calories lower eventually. You have to drive the deficit consistently. You can't be doing cheat meals or, you know, like having your calories really high all the time. Like you need to still make it sustainable. Some people I know, they do massive deficits and they make up for it end of the week with a refeed or a cheat meal, but I'd rather just have more calories in my general diet phase, more sustainable long term. What I love about the sport is like every method works as long as you're just driving a deficit. Some are better than others for some people, but being effective with managing your training performance, I like to think like an athlete with like my cardio, my training, my reps, my sets, my load, my recovery, my sleep, everything's measured. And I love that, you know, having control of all those variables. It makes me know that I'm doing everything I can. So regardless of what happens on the day, who fucking cares? You do the best you can. One thing I love about whether it's like arms or shoulders or even chest, it's systemically not too taxing on my body, so I can really push it. My recovery is a lot better for the following day. For example, I did Monday legs. I was absolutely rooted. You know, you're literally moving half your body to move a shitload of weight. So stuff like these days, I like how it sort of gives me a bit of a break. I'm still recovering, you know, even though I'm still in a fat loss phase. I just find it's very helpful. What's going on? Give this some work. There you go, man. Looking good? Jeez, good. What's another half kilo? Nice. Bang on nearly 114 now. Oh, that's good. So I've got one more set of this and then reverse pec deck. We're meant to superset it, but it was taken, which is fine. And then we're on to some shrugs. And then we got 2 bicep movements and then a bit of abs, cardio, and then we're done. Double cardio days, you know, they're catching up, but the last couple of weeks where you make that big push, make sure that you've done everything you can. You've really gotten your body as low as you can with body fat. And from there, it's competition time, baby. cable.
The cable over dumbbell.
Finds better contraction with than the dumbbell. And also here too, you know, it's not about focusing on the load, it's about focusing on actually trying to really depress the shoulder and then really retract, squeeze your traps. My traps have always been a weak point in my physique, and also it's in front of me, the load, instead of to the side or behind. I feel like I just can't get enough contraction. You know, it's like saying, you are what you eat. I'm a literal fucking chicken breast and zucchini. I'm becoming a fish as well. More fucking fish than Melbourne Aquarium, bro. Anything you eat tastes good. You know, and then once you're done competing, your taste buds like desensitize again, so then you can only eat shit food. So again, it's like the post-comp, it's like the hardest time. Just the floodgates are open, you got no reason to diet, you got no reason to stay in shape unless you've got photo shoots lined up. So for a lot of first-time competitors, it's really hard. When it comes to carbs, it's really important just to ensure that you're gonna reverse properly. You know, a lot of people just binge eat and then they fuck themselves. It's a really bad way to come out of a show and have that experience.
Well, what are you thinking?
Hey?
What do you think?
What am I thinking? I think I reckon he'll probably wipe the floor with him. So that's my prediction. Not much to go now. He's just going to dry right up.
What's something you do in your free time as like more of a hobby, apart from like coaching and things, just like keep yourself busy, you know, relax?
Good question. I do like to spend time with like my family, especially like my fiance. I like to, you know, hang out with my dog, and aside from that, maybe like play video games. Like I love playing video games with my mates. It's a good way for me to connect with like one, not having to like get the effort physically to drive and see them. Yeah, just like spending good time with people, because it can get easy to not want to go out and get involved anymore, but I don't want to allow that to sort of hold me back. Like, just as long as it's conducive with like my lifestyle, it's fine. You know, so I really like to, again, yeah, like I love playing like Elden Ring and Bloodborne and Helldivers 2. It's more just killing a bit of time. Like, I don't like to say killing time because I'm grateful for every second I've got, but you know, especially when like, you know, you don't want to think about food and you're at home and, you know, aside from working, I just want to like, just do some things I enjoy. Those are probably the main things I would do. Like maybe I go shopping here and there, like Thursday, Friday night, like late night shopping with Emmy. Go buy some clothes or some shit. Like I'm not really too big on that, but things to have fun and continuously enjoy doing that are conducive with currently what I'm doing. Good pump. When you get to fucking a certain level of body fat, anything leaner than that, you think you're just fat because you're so flat and depleted on muscle glycogen. So you just think, I look like shit, but you can't have that mindset. Understand that it's part of the process, you know? So if you're gonna be prepping for the first time, just understand that every other competitor goes through this, even the best guys in the world. Just understand that your progress is your own journey. Because at the end of the day, yeah, the stage, like whoever wins, wins, first, second, third. You know, someone who came last on that day, you don't know what the fuck they've been through and what they've gone through to get to that level on the stage. So, you know, I think that again, as much as everyone's judged next to each other and it's a subjective sport, it's a subjective sport. Like that's it, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you should know what you're getting yourself into. So, because like when judges too also judge you on how you look, that's their job. So if they say, oh, you know, you're not lean enough, don't take offense to that. Take the feedback because it's gonna help you. If you see a head judge and they're analyzing your physique, get their feedback, get them to say what they want to say. They're gonna be honest with you. You might hear some things you don't want to hear, but that's what you need in order to grow. Aside from your coach and peers telling you what you need to improve on, the head judges are gonna help the most. So for this, just one top set of 15. You can tell my arms are a pretty good strong point, so I don't really need to try and build them up. I just try to maintain all the muscle tissue. This is like a little mental update leading into the last 3-4 weeks of a bodybuilding prep for a show. You know, I really want to be open with you. This is pretty much unwrapping a little bit into my brain on how I'm feeling, what's going through my mind on a day-to-day basis. Nearly 3 weeks out, definitely a little bit nerve-wracking competing for the first time in the big leagues of IFBB. I do find that an absolute privilege to be a part of, especially just stepping on stage amongst some of the best guys in the country that aren't pros yet. I sort of find that's the biggest thing for me, is having that privilege and that don't quit attitude, that champion chungus mentality, I like to call it. For me, it's not about winning or losing. It's about just showing the journey of what is leading up to this, when, you know, it's with you 24/7. Dieting 24/7, sleep sometimes gets interrupted. You're always going to be tired. You have dips of energy, usually low calories. The cardio's high. So basically most of your day is pretty much taken up from prepping. It's not easy. And you also then start questioning, am I going to be lean enough? Am I going to have enough muscle tissue? Am I doing the best I can? A lot of these questions do start to sort of flood your mind. It's just because you're on low calories, you're starting to get tired, it can get hard. And if you don't also have that good support system and people around you that help inspire you and push you and keep reminding you as well that what you're doing is the right thing and you're on track and looking good, but also too not being unrealistic. Now I've got so many amazing people behind me. My sponsors like Solidus Health and Strength, they do all my tissue work. Optimum Nutrition, they've been helping me with my supplements to help me with this lead up of this prep. Julian behind the camera, you know, he's documenting this all right now. Don't forget my family as well and my fiance. And again, it's really hard when you think about it, but it's something that I just do on a day-to-day basis. Do it to the best of my ability, and if it's not good enough, so be it. That's out of my control. Focusing on what you can control is so important, because understanding that the hard work is where the character is developed is such an important factor. I think if you're ever going to do a bodybuilding show, do it. Being this close to a show, it feels like a million miles away, but it's not. When you nail each and every day and you see your body changing, you see the weight coming down, you see the fat coming off, you see the muscles really coming through more, it gives you an incentive to keep going. I love what I do. I've prepped 3 times before this and I failed every single time. And it was really hard for me to wrap around my head why I couldn't do it. I just thought I had anxiety and I had really bad depression last year and sort of couldn't shake that off, and I was really just in a lost place until I found my current coach, and now we're working together. We're progressing really well. I'm in a really good headspace. I found my faith. I'm getting baptized next week as a Catholic. A lot of amazing things are happening in my life, and doing this prep, as hard as it might seem, it's not if you perceive it as being easy. You just do what you can with what you got consistently every single day. The effort will move into results. Not gonna lie, yeah, I'm definitely nervous for the first show, but I think once the first show's done, I'll find my groove and find my footing. I'm really excited to share this journey with you all and coming to a close eventually, but just gonna ride this shit through and just fucking send it, baby. Chungus Army we're coming. You know, I'm doing well. I'm really happy. I'm very content. I love this lifestyle. I perceive it as just such a blessing to be able to choose to technically be hungry. Hopefully, like, you know, this can inspire you to chase your fucking dreams. Whether you fail, whether you win, just fucking do it. If you win, awesome. But you know what? Failure, you'll learn so much more from failure than winning. I've failed so many times, so I've learned a lot of lessons over the past, you know, couple of years of my life trying to compete, and, you know, being on the doorstep of it now, it's, you know, it's really exciting where all basically the work has been done. It's been 24 weeks of dieting pretty much since September, finishing my off season. So it's been a lot of dieting, but I've loved every second. You know, I wouldn't take it back for anything. So yeah, that's pretty much my mental update. So I think it's going to be at the end of the video. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully you like the video. We're going to, you know, just keep pushing these out. And 3.5 weeks. Let's get it. Catch you later.